Oh, my father was a fine man, I'd like to think it so. Oh, my father was the King of England. But my father, he was absent for so long, how could I know the man who was the King of England? Father, he would travel, take his house, leave me behind. He would eat and drink and ride his way across England. It is easy now to think of him as anything but kind, my father, who was the King of England. And though this man had his flaws, like me, he inherited his father's wars. And this man was in charge of the country's laws, my father, a desperate King of England. He inherited so many lands with all his territories. He had far more to rule than little England. He boasted all of western France to the Pyrenees. Oh, my father was a powerful King of England. But piece by piece he lost those lands. His armies fought to keep them, their blood on his hands. Soon our country would be answering to his demands, my father, the ruthless King of England. And as the king, he had a duty to recruit. He sought his armies using money from the crown. And when he needed more, he knocked on every door, raising tax in every village and every town. Armies are expensive, so that he might fund the war. His sheriffs came to all the shires of England. They enforced all his taxes till the English purse was sore. It was if he cared not one small jot for England. His fees were set, all his tenants had to pay to inherit land, or he'd take that land away. And if they were unable, then imprisoned they would stay, in debt to this grasping King of England. In fear of debtor's prison was no way to live, but this was how it was all over England. Civil war, rebellion, something had to give, and in the end it was the King of England. He'd brushed off all his barons, but prepared for civil war, dismissed all their concerns, which concerned them all the more. No matter how they tried, he continued to ignore the angry voices shouting all over England. And though the barons called a meeting with my father, it was fleeting, for the king did not attend. He did nothing for them and failed to reassure them on the reasons for his heavy annual spend. And as the king went on exacting money at all cost, the barons talked of rebellion. Their anger over forceful pay for wars that would be lost. How could they fight this moving tide all over England? They were being taxed for every little thing by a jumped-up thieving warmonger and unscrupulous king. They would turn the tables and make the sovereign sing, my father, the blinkered King of England. The king had gripped his fingers far too tightly on the land, forests, rivers, farms all over England. He'd acted with such disregard, the barons couldn't stand for this petulant, demanding King of England. No troubled public figure had the rebels to select. They were taking issue with with my father's disrespect for the country he was ruling, so the country they protect. They pushed a charter to secure the rights of England. And the barons made a list of all their articles of interest. No harm in preparing. A spot was found on neutral ground, knights and barons all around, increasing pressure on the king. So it came unto the day when down at Runnymede the barons met the cornered King of England. Determined men laid out demands until the king agreed, and with some compromise they forged a future England. 63 clauses given the seal of King John, and even though the Pope declared it void and undone, this charter, Magna Carta, had only just begun to wield a power greater than the King of England. The values in this charter, which of them will hold as I rule over this green and pleasant England? In the cathedral under stone, hard and cold, lies my father, who was the King of England. And though I have the crown, like him before, Magna Carta sees me bound and tied to the law. These are uncertain times, but of one thing I am sure. Now I am the King of England. Now I am the King of England. Now I am the King of England.